Okay, good. I'm in now. All right. So, yeah, I heard what you said. You said it was kind of like right on the money yesterday, but
Yes.
that's kind of where that's what I was going to talk about today, because it was more of like an indecision yesterday. I was staying at like that support line, but it didn't really move too much. But this morning we're going to go through it because I am seeing a little bit of bearish sentiment.
Right.
So you are too, you notice that?
Well, I just
Okay.
wanted to tell you, but I did manage to do 108% though on SPY. So
Wow. How did you, with the call or put?
with
What do you
our put, it was a put.
Oh,
Because remember yesterday you did say about the bearish, we talked about the bearish sentiment too.
Right. That if it can't hold that support line, that it could break down below. So, you got the move down here. Let me see.
That's correct. So I took it to 435, 20 something. I got out at that point.
Oh, at the 200 MA here.
That's
Wow.
correct.
Yeah, that's nice. All right. So we can talk about this. And this is and you can see here it was more like stagnant energy yesterday, right here. But I'm seeing bearish sentiment. You see this? So a lot of times when it's not forming for me, how do I determine bearish sentiment when I don't really see patterns forming on the slow RSI? How it's down, because you know how normally patterns will form where it's like a double bottom, you'll have a low, a higher low, and then there'll be like signs to where it wants to keep going. Well, here, this is not a good, I don't see no pattern here, and it's below 50, which is showing some bearish sentiment here. And so hold on one second. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at it here. So when I see this doji right here on the daily that was formed, yeah, the doji closed below this support line, but a doji can represent two things generally. So it could either represent that it's like a continuation, or it could represent a change in direction, right? And just like this doji right here. So we had this move here, and then we created this doji, and then we went up. And this is kind of like, this is what this is telling me. So what I'm going to do, of course, what we need to do is we need to look to see how we open this morning. Are we going to open below this level, or are we going to open above it? But again, like I said, right now I am seeing some bearish sentiment, just like on the lower time frames here. And if we pull back, this is our next support on the daily right here. So I'm going to take a look. I mean, if we pull back, it's actually healthy, because we need to create patterns, because even if we do pull back, you can see this pattern right here forming.
Did you say 431 was the next?
Let me see. Hold on one second. I just want to draw this out to see if, okay. Yeah, so we're looking at about, 431.52 right there.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, so, okay. So we have that there, and now let's take a look at the lower time frames here. See this here? You see how it's pushing below 50 right there?
Right.
And then you're right here on top of this support here. You really need a change in direction here. If we don't get a change in direction here, it does look like we're going to be heading back to the next level of support. Even looking here at the slow RSI, like it's coming down, but let me look at the 1 hour.
Down suits me just fine.
Like, see that? Look at this. This is all bearish sentiment right here. Even this. And then you got these highs here, and look how it's getting lower, a little bit lower. And now we're down here. See? Let me see the 30-minute. Yep. And look what we're below in the 30-minute. Remember, I told you we don't want to be below this 200 MA yesterday.
Yes.
We want to stay above the 200 MA, but we can't even break below it. And look at this pattern. We're below 50 here. So this is bearish sentiment as well. Yep. Let's look at let's kind of go down to the lower time frames. 15-minute. Yep. bearish sentiment. Look at it pointing down right here.
Hmm.
You want to, of course, you still want to wait to see if we can hold this area, but breaking below this area is signs that we want to take it to the next support. Let me look at this next support level because we want definitely the accuracy of it. So let's see here. Yeah, it's very bearish this morning. Very bearish. Like there's no movement here. And even on the daily, when you see this this continuation doji, I think it's a continuation doji because even the fact that it closed red. See, if you look here at this doji, you see how it closed green, right?
Yes.
And then you had the move for the next day. This here is reminding me of the same doji, but going in the opposite direction. And this was a continuation doji too, but going up. Correct. Continuation doji going down. I don't know. You definitely want to make sure that you wait for the signal and for confirmation to see if it falls below this area, because you know there could be a shoot up, but at this point with these patterns and everything below 50, it's very weak. It's very weak.
Okay.
But I'm going to look at some other stocks too to kind of confirm it. Yep. Here now, remember, overall we're strong, but we have to pull back in order to create patterns so that we can keep running. So that this doesn't mean that we're like being bearish in the market. We're just talking about today, right? We're talking about today's move. Yeah. So yeah.
And we do have catalysts too. So
what do we have?
We have, today's Wednesday, so at 10 a.m. we have Jerome Powell. At that same 10 a.m. Senate nomination hearing for Fed Govs Jefferson and Cook and nominee Kruger. And then at 12:25, the Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee speaks. So
do you know if any of it's going to affect the markets?
Oh, definitely. Well, you know, Powell always affects the market. And normally it's been in a negative way. So like, I'm not surprised that we are seeing bearish to start with, because people normally tend to stand still when Powell is there.
And remember when I told you when we break out at these levels, we have to come back and test the new level as support. So look at this resistance. You see how this was the ceiling wall here, and we couldn't get above it, and then we finally broke it. I think we're coming back down to test it, which is the new support here at 431, 431.3. But that's kind of what I'm seeing here on SPY right now. I'm seeing some bearish sentiment, but again, it doesn't negate the fact that we're overall bullish and we're breaking out. But but this was a very strong run. Like, take a look at this run here. You see this? Like, once it broke out of this level down here, you had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 days, right? So that's 12 days. So that's a lot of days of just, well, actually, let's take away this day and this day. So even 10 days, like that's a pretty strong run there. So these pullbacks are necessary. And like I said, even if we do pull back to this support level here at the 431 to come back and retest it as new support, it's still showing bullish patterns. I mean, you still have this bullish flag on the daily, even if it pulls back. To be honest, I would rather see it pull back, because you want it to pull back so that it can create these patterns and a healthy trend. Because the problem is when it continues to run like this, if it doesn't pull back, then you'll get like a surprise fall crash at some point. Exactly, once it hits too high. So this is actually healthy in my opinion, for it to pull back like this. But I want to take a look at some other stocks to just see if it's like all going in the same direction here.
Okay.
All right, so let's go back to this high here. Take it down. I'm going to look at SQQQ this morning. I got a feeling it's going to be bullish. But remember SQQQ yesterday, like, okay, so it's still bearish, like overall. You can see that the trend is very bearish, but I mean, it's the same thing. Like, if you're going to go in the opposite direction, it's going to be, but so many days you fall before you get, before you come up again. So let's take a look here. This is the daily. So the daily is exact opposite of SPY. So you see how SPY was overbought above 80, which was exhausted, right? So now SQQQ is showing the opposite, right? So they're oversold, and right now they're at like what? This is 5.7 on the daily. You have this support here. So this little green candle right here, this could also be a reversal candle too. So let's take a look at some of the higher, the lower time frames. See here, the patterns look a little different. We're still up below 50 here, which is showing like weakness, but you do have more of a pattern forming on the slower SI here. But the thing is, just because you get a good day, it doesn't mean that it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like they're overall strong. We're just looking at today, because like even look at this. Like this is showing me that they may, like, we're gonna look at this pattern here. See how this pattern, this is a low, this is a higher low. So if we're curving around here like this, we're looking at a possible this. But look, once it gets up to here and it becomes exhausted, guess where the resistance is at? The 200 MA.
Right there, yes. So
do I think they're going to get above the 200 MA? I don't know. But as of right now, we know that it's the resistance, which is the ceiling wall. So once it gets here, we'll probably be here. We'll get some exhaustion. Bam, rejection. And now look here, you got money flow too. And remember, we're on the smaller time frames though. So this is not going to be, I don't think this is going to be a long run. I think this is just going to be enough for SPY to pull back to that support and retest.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, that's alignment. You know, when I see SQQQ has a little bit of momentum, then that's telling me that SPY wants to pull back. But let's confirm it with QQQ, because you know they're inverts. All right. The same thing. Look, same thing. Look at this. This is bearish. It's below 50 right here. Yeah. Let's look at the daily here. And we already have our support. I didn't even look at QQQ, but I know that this support line, I drew it in the past. And remember, these support and resistance, it recycles. So it's still a good area. I'm going to recheck it just to make sure, but I want to look at the daily first. Yeah. See, this would be the area that they would possibly pull back at. But even if they pull back here to this support area, again, this run is, I mean, it doesn't negate all the strength that the equities have right now. Like this is still a bullish pattern. These pullbacks are healthy. Look at this. This would be the floor right here. You see? That would be the support. So consolidating between here and here. So support is at about 360.2, resistance 372.3. Now, this doesn't mean that this is all going to hit in a day. You know, you could see that 1, 2, 3 took 4 days to go from the floor to the top of the ceiling, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go from here to here in one day. It just means that this is the area where it could potentially be consolidating. You see? Yes. From this floor here, because once we get back up to this wall, more than likely it's going to be a rejection, because this is where the stagnant energy comes, the consolidation. Okay. And that, it makes sense, especially with the way as QQQ is right now and the way SPY is. And look, QQQ is overbought. Let's take a look at the lower time frames though. Yep. Look at this. It's pointing down. And here you can even see like this pattern kind of forming if you look at it like in like a bigger way. Do you know what pattern I'm looking at?
Almost like a double bottom.
No, the opposite.
Wait a minute.
You were right on the money. A double top.
I'm sorry, a double.
I mean, it's funny. Yep, it's a double top. But look,
sorry, my mind is in reverse now.
It's all right, but look at this. Look at this high here. And look, that's a doji. Yes. This is what I'm talking about when I said that a doji can represent two things. So a doji could be a continuation, or a doji could mean a reversal. Yes. This here, you could see this doji that was created, and now they're reversing, which is going down. And if you're looking at this pot, this is a bearish pattern right here. Right. So this is, I see a double top here.
Yeah, I'm thinking double top, but I'm saying double bottom. I don't know why. Because I'm looking.
It's the same thing. Yes, it's just an opposite, but I know where your mind was going. And see here how it's red coming down. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to be careful in these markets, but you know your support levels. The thing is, allow it to touch the floor, right? Once it gets to the floor, once it gets to support, before you take entry, you need to confirm that it doesn't break that floor.
Right.
And that's the
But
thing.
that's if I'm taking a call, right?
That's if you're taking a call, right? If you want to, I mean, if you want to trade with the trend today, like that's something that you can, you know, that's an option that you have, but because of the overall strength that we have, be careful, because I don't think it's gonna be, you know what I mean? Like I don't think it's gonna be quick. So you're gonna have to be in and out, and you don't want to hold too long, because even though we have bearish sentiment, because we're breaking out on the higher time frames, like the reversal could happen so quickly. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
All right, so that's the, so this is the 4 hour, you got the 1 hour, yeah, all bearish sentiment. We're gonna take a look at Apple, because I want to see if Apple is kind of going into, yeah, look at this. It's all, they're coming onto the support line right back here. And you know what's crazy is, so we talked about these areas yesterday in the pre-market show, and you can see it has not broke these areas, it's still held. And even here, this is 8 a.m. Where'd it go? It took it to the ceiling, rejected. It's coming back down. These zones, they don't lie. It doesn't lie. Did you pass this zone yesterday? Absolutely not. You took it to the ceiling and rejected, right? Now it's coming back down to the support. That's what it does. It, you know, these stocks, that's why these zones, they're so like important, because if you can find them, you can see how the stock is moving at this point. Now, depending on, I think it'll have a lot to do with catalysts, and if it does affect the market, but still at the same time, you want to wait confirmation to see if this floor holds. Because if this floor doesn't hold, you know, you're taking it back to the next floor. Once you get down here, if it even takes it down here, you're going to be so exhausted that it's going to be time for a run up to happen. And when the run happens, it's actually good, because it's then created a healthy pattern in order for it to continue, because at some point we're going to eventually break these highs. So, all right, same thing, 4 hour. Yeah, we're yeah, it's definitely taking it at the very least. It's definitely taking it, yeah, to the next support level. If it holds, that's one thing. You know, that's, you have to wait for that confirmation. All right, so we got, so that's kind of where we're at this morning. You know, just be careful.
Yeah.
You took SPY yesterday. Oh yeah, look, we're going. This is
Yeah, and it was in and out. Not I didn't do it too long either. I was like, you know, because yesterday, remember you said that it could possibly, the lowest it could probably possibly go was 433. So in my mind, it was at 437 or 438 when you had done it. So I had mapped out the entry, but I had missed the entry, but I was looking at the levels. So when it broke the next support, I got in and just took it to the $2.
Right here.
That for, yes.
At 10? At 10?
Yes.
Ah, you see
I got it.
Support. Okay,
it,
but then you ended up getting out before it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I figured it might not because of the strength.
And yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why you have to understand the overall, like, what's going on with the stock, because when you're aware of the strength like that, you're not going to take a big risk. Plus, you got out before you got below this 200 MA.
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
know that it's going to have to fight to fall through this 200 MA, because it's been holding it. So trying to hold it, you know, and not getting out before you reach the 200 MA, yeah, that's very risky. That would be, you know, that would be you pushing it too far. Wow, nice. Nice. Yeah. And this here, let's take a look. Really, what I would do is pay attention to where we open up at 9:30. So here, 436 point, we got 430. This support is 436.8. Let me make sure, because I can't see. All right, 436. I say 436.8. Let's see where we're at right now. This is where we're at right now. Look at this, 436.5. 34. Opening up below this area is confirmation for a continuation, which is confirming the bearish sentiment. You see that?
Yes.
Now, if we open up below, your next floor would be down here. If we open up below, that means this support that we've been holding is now resistance, right? So when you take a puts call, you take a puts at resistance. When you take a call, you take it at support. Okay, so just be careful, but the opening closing of the daily is generally confirmation of a level becoming support and resistance. So if we open up below this floor here, it will now be resistance. So we would take this out because it's no longer the ceiling. This would become the ceiling. Now this would be the floor.
So yes.
And then this would become the new floor. You know, if it
yes,
falls
it breaks through.
If it breaks through it. So this would be the ceiling. Now, no longer the floor, and this is the new floor. Now, depending on how heavy the bears come in, because bears come in heavy. And that's the thing you got to also keep in mind. They come in heavy, but don't risk your money because, you know, the strength is pretty, you know what I mean? It's pretty big in the overall time frames. But depending on how the bears come in, if they come in and we open up below this level, more than likely, we're going to take it to the next floor. Now, if we holding this floor is one thing. Now we are extremely overbought. So at this point, even if we take it down here to 426, just hypothetically, we're still in a good space. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because we broke significant levels. So even coming back down to test these areas, that's healthy. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's pretty much where we're at this morning. It didn't take long to really figure out what's happening in the markets this morning. Is there anything you want to look at?
Could we check snow again?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the daily too. Snow's pulling back as well. So you can, they're rejecting this area here. Let's take a look at it from the higher time frame so we can get a clear look. Okay. All right, so this is the area where it's been closing. So if it doesn't get past this area here, it could more than likely reject. Look here. We got up here, but look how we closed. When we had this little run up here, this was the high. I mean, this was the high, but it closed here. And then the next month, it closed below. It closed below. Now it's still closed below. We're back here. I mean, we haven't ended in June yet, but we definitely want to pay attention to see how this closed. If we close again below this line, it's a sign of rejection. Okay. But we're still like, it's only the 21st. So we still got a whole month to see, you know, how we close. But that's something you want to pay attention with snow. Just, you know, just to get the overall, you know,
picture.
Yeah. So this is a low, higher, low, higher. So it is still creating higher lows here on this slow RSI. But I think what's happening is we hit a high, we're rejecting. So yesterday we closed below this level here. So let's take it out because we know that this level is no longer support. It broke it. So let's clear all of this out. We're going to have to do this because there was a pretty bearish day yesterday. All right. So this is the new ceiling right here. So support and resistance recalculates as the market moves. Support and resistance recalculates as the market moves. So once we have pretty big moves, we have to recalculate. So these levels that we drew yesterday is no longer good. So now this is the ceiling. This is what, 179.5.
Yeah.
Where are we at right now? 179.8.
I mean 08. So we're a little below.
170, 178.7. Yeah, we got bearish sentiment here just on the lower time. I saw a lot of white noise, but it's still, it's still bearish sentiment here. 30-minute. Yeah, look, we're below the 200 MA. Look, it's rejecting it. Remember, when we're below the 200 MA, it's signaling bearish momentum. Even just, and this is the small time frame, so this doesn't really matter too much, but look at this here. This is a bearish flag, which are signs of bearish momentum. See? Right there.
Yes.
But again, this is on a 30 minutes, so this is more of a short-term thing. Not, I mean, we're on a 30 minutes, so it's more short-term, but it still does give me an idea of like what's going on pre-market at the very least.
True.
All right, so let's look at the daily here. Okay, so let's create our zones here on the daily. So we got the ceiling here, which is the rejection wall right there. We got support about right here. Let me see. Yeah, I'd say about right there. So this is our next level of support here. And you can even see there's some consolidation. Well, this primarily, you see how we consolidated between these zones in the past. And that's why be careful, because snow is very volatile. Look at this gap here. That was a huge gap right here.
Yep.
From here to here. So this shows me that this stock is very volatile, even this gap here to here. So be careful. Yeah, be careful with this one. All right, so 173.9 looks like it's the new support here. So if we open up below here, below this level here, which is 179.1, it is signs that we want to continue back down to the next support, which is also confirming equities. Look here, these are the zones I drew on the daily. And this ceiling here I drew, and this is crazy because I don't do this on purpose. Look where it's at. The 200 MA is now acting as resistance, right? So the 200 MA is acting as resistance, so that's confluence. If I draw a zone in one area and I go to another time frame and it shows me like, that, if it shows me like sign of what I already know, which we know that the 200 MA can act as resistance, that's showing me that's a good level. Okay.
Yes.
So this here, and you can see even pre-market, we have not been able to get back above this 200 MA. So the fact here, this is when we broke below. This is the break, right? So now we're below it. So we're going to have to fight to get back above it. So once it comes back up here now, this is going to be a tug of war situation. So we're looking at a possible rejection here and then taking it back down to support. What did you say the ATR was with Snow? 74.
Wasn't it like 923 or something like that? I'm not sure. Let me see. To me, I think it was $9.
It was around $9. Well, this is 174 and this is 182. So you're about, what's 174 and 182?
Roughly about $8.
Yeah. Well, like $7, $8. So we're right on the money here.
Yeah.
So yeah, new support there. Let's look at the hourly. Look at this candle on the hourly. It's coming down too.
Yep. Like SPY, I mean.
This here, it could possibly hold this 200 MA and act as an area of support. And generally, I would say let's take it to the 200 MA, but this area is stronger because look at here. Look at all of the push and pull prior. This was a lot of push and pull. Even here, like coming here, trying to break it, right? Trying to break it. They rejected. Consolidation, tried to break it, rejection, consolidation before the break. So this level shows me that's a very, very strong level here. So normally I would say, let's take it to the 200 MA because it can act as the floor, but nah, here, this is more solid here. So your floor is around 174.3.
174.3. Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. But the thing is, everywhere I go is probably going to be, we're probably going to have bearish sentiment across the board.
Yeah, because that's the market temperature right now.
Look at, I want to, now I'm a little interested in bonds. Oh, bonds. TLT is a bond. It's a 20-year bond. Yeah, 20-year bond. Look at this. Oh, man. Okay, so this is just a daily, but I think it's rejecting here. I want to take a look at this, and you can see the consolidate. See, the thing is with bonds, though, bonds, it's a little difficult for chart analysis because they move off a catalyst. Catalyst really drives bonds. That's why I don't do too much technical analysis with bonds, but it's good to kind of like, you know, see where they're at. But now I'm looking at this overall. This is a low. And these are higher lows here. Even this is a higher low than this one. And this is pointing up, coming above 50, which is signaling some strength here. But let's do this. Let's take a look at the overall. So let's look at the most current price action. So this is this is a resistance. This is a pretty resistance, a tough resistance area too. And why do I say that? Because look at all this prior. It was holding support for some time, right? And then they broke through, and now this is resistance. So remember, for rejection, it's quite a few rejections before a pass. So this here, we fell through it. We rejected here. We're playing around here. We haven't really passed this area. Yeah, let's go. Let's be a little more precise. All right. So we got this here. Let's see where we're at now. So we closed at 103.3. Let's see where we're at right now. Oh shit, we're way down here. All right, it's rejecting. Yeah, it's rejecting this area here. Let's look at the 4 hour. Exactly where it rejected. Look at this shit. And I drew this on the daily. On the daily. It's look at this. It's rejecting, coming back down to the 200 MA. 1 hour. Yep, it's rejecting this wall here. All right, I just wanted to get an idea where we were at on this is gold here. All right. Yeah, gold is look, this was support for gold here. They closed below the support here, so that means it's now the ceiling. So we have to take this off and see where we're at with gold. Yeah. All right, so this is 33.4. 33.0. So yeah, we're lower. Yeah, because I could see this just from yesterday's play. Closing below this area here is signaling that it's breaking this pattern. Okay, so gold is trash right now. Let's look at silver. All right. Same thing with silver. Silver is bearish too, but this was 21.2. Yeah, 21.05. They're opening up lower. 21.05 is about right here. So opening up lower, pointing down. Yeah, they're coming down. Let's look at these zones here. Now, generally, the reason why I'm interested in like bonds, gold, silver, because a lot of times with bonds, gold, and silver, you got to think about everything like as a whole. So if the market is falling, where do you think people are going to run to?
Gold and silver?
Gold, silver, and bonds, right? So if I'm looking at overall bearish sentiment with silver, gold, bonds, this is showing me that we still have strength in equities. So even though we're having these temporary pullbacks in equities, right? Because we got to create these patterns in order for them to keep running. Overall, I'm still seeing strength in equities, right? Because we're talking about the breakout and everything. Now I go to silver, go to gold, I go to bonds, and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing there's bearish sentiment. So it's not a lot of investments being flooded in gold, silver, and bonds. Now it would be if we had some type of black swan event or something like we had with the pandemic, right? So this kind of helps me like with the overall picture of the market, okay?
Okay.
All right, but that's pretty much it. That's what we got this morning, guys. The only thing that I can just, tell you all is to just trade with caution because and I just created these new levels on SPY and look at it now. It's pushing below it. So this is all pre-market movement right here.
Wow.
I just created this level and look, it's kind of falling through a little bit. You see here?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's bearish sentiment right now. So this is just confirming, you know, our analysis. So just trade with caution. That's all I recommend is trade with caution. Anyone that's, you know, wanting to get in long, you just need to wait for it to hit the bottom. You got to wait. That's the thing about swing trading, holding long, whatever you want to call it. You got to wait for the bottom, because right now we're still up here and we're pulling back right now. But, you know, at the end of the day, we still have a lot of strength. But once it gets to the bottom, once you hit the floor, that's a good area for entry. But for day trading, I always recommend trading with the trend for the day. So if you're going to do puts, the only thing I suggest, if you're going to go in the opposite direction going down, which is probably more probable, it's more like it's better as a day trader to trade with the trend, is just be careful. All right. You know, the bears, they move fast, they move quick, and they move hard. But at the end of the day, with the overall strength, we don't know how far it's going to take it. Okay.
True. Thank you.
All righty. You're welcome. Well, you guys have a good day. And
You
I'll see you in
too.
the morning. Bye.
Thanks, Desiree. Good night.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.